Hello, today is the third lesson for this session. It's kind of hard, but in another way, it's not really hard. It's just like you need to know and where to look. But when you start to use it, it's sometimes certain tag may not do what you want. So you have to try quite a lot. And here is my, okay, we still use Notepad++. It's much better because the color definitely help us a lot.
Why would color help?
Why color help? Because here, if I click this tab, you see this tab, that's the beginning, that's the end. So we know this is a section. That's number one. Number two, you see all the kind of bluish, purplish color is, the bluish is like a div and a class. And only the black color,
it's like
only the black color will be displayed on the web. Everything else is just markup. Okay, so let me see here. Okay. It's only markup for styling. Okay, so today we start to build on the previous class. So this is the previous class. I'm just tired of the car, so I only changed the image to Mount Hood and Mount Hood. And what we try to do today is, it's called a display container. Last time we used W3 container, and which add up 16 pixel on left and 16 pixel on the right. And we introduce the border and the border, the whole border, and we can specify the border is just for the bottom. That's normally we use. And we center the text, which we used before. Another thing is we will use a lot in the future is going to be the padding. The padding is have the space in between, and the padding give exact pixel. So we control the page, the padding. And let's see what else. That's we had last week. And today, the first one we will do is, today we will introduce about 2 or 3 different category of tags. One is called W3 display. Okay, we need to go to the W3 website. Okay, where I go to the website, any question from last time or general question? We have a quietest class in the universe. It's always very quiet. Display. So just to give you overview of what the display is, it is almost like a fixed thing. You see here, you have a fixed box, and you can put a text in special place. So top left, top right, bottom left, and the bottom right. So, and this were used quite a lot on the most web page. I think I have one web page which I use this. You see here, it's a picture because I don't want the whole picture do nothing, just the picture. So I overlay, you see text, the middle and the left, right, and the center. Anyway, the website is not important, but that's how you use it. So, and here is to start. Here you see W3 display container. That's container is almost equal to, so that's the block, blocks the whole thing. And then you display like top right, top left, etc. And I'm just going to borrow their code. No, I'm not going to, it's just too much. I'm going to put here. We have a car, right? So I borrow part of it. So the most important is you see the container. So it's a beginning and end. If you just do this and see what happens. See, here's give you a space. Look here, I put a height here. Right now we don't have any content. I put a height here. If in case I don't have this height, I see what happens because it's empty. You see, you don't see anything. So I gave a height. And then the next I want, I just put top. Top left. And bottom middle, just pick one. See, here's top left, bottom middle. And see what happens if I notice the class, the exercise 2, now I change into 3. Okay. So, and why this height? And then if in case I really want to put an image, you see, image itself, if you directly put a tag inside, may not work properly. So we block the image with 200 pixels. we block this image with div. So if image tag not control very well, so the div will control it. So I'm going to put it in this corner and the right bottom. Let's see what's the right bottom. Yes, bottom right. You see, everything is you see, here is, if we block, it's called the display container. It's a fixed size. Basically, horizontal is take the entire screen, and vertically, you have defined the height. And then you can display in this 9 place. You can put a text or image or button or anything that is display. Okay. HTML is better than HTML. Okay, I agree. Yeah, today TA is not here today, so oh, she's here. Someone I may not admit very quickly. Okay, Audrey is here. Good, thank you. And another thing is, you know, this one, you have to give a height. But since we have a content here, if in case I don't give a height again, because it's inside is not empty anymore, I just take it out and see what happens. Okay, still not work. We still have to give a height. Okay. You know, that is the problem. Sometimes you assume certain thing works, and when you just apply the theory from one place to another place, and sometimes it's just not a work. So that's why you have to look example. Sometimes have to do exactly as the example. If you alter a little bit, you have to try and error a lot. So sometimes write a web page is very time consuming. So for example, why I put a div tag between image. If, for example, I said, why don't I just put it here inside image, for example, here. I put a class. Not sure it works or not. Here is use our best friend, use comment, which I keep the code, but we always call it comment out, means we don't use it, and see what happens. You know, it works. So it works. We can get rid of div tag. But if in case it not work, and we have to just put div, because div uses tag control anything inside. So luckily it works, so we can eliminate 2 lines of code. And in their example, you see here's display container. I try to get rid of the height. It's just not a work. But they do have one example, which if I copy this again, if I just have an image, I don't, you see here inside, I gave an image. I don't tell exactly where it is, left or right. Okay, we start, look this first. Oh, two together. So what I want to do is W3 padding 16, because I want to separate them. So still not work because this padding is in this div, it's too close. We may need another one at the top. Div. Okay, good. So it's, you know, you block this, so the everything inside is get affected. But sometimes, so it's blocked inside here, so it has a div 24 pixels separated. If you put it right under the next thing, ideally it'll work, but it may not. So it's sometimes if thing you want to control it, and you just keep piling with div on the top and the top to control the behave. You see what I did? I have a container and I have an image without anything, just like any other place has a container. And then if you see here, the whole thing is 300 pixel. But if I take this out, the height out, see what happens. You see here, this display container will be at the size of the image. So if you have an image inside, and then because this image is basically take the space, it's inside here. And then this image basically can control the height. So I think this is much better way to use it. And also look this, I have a div 24 that's above and below. And this div 16 definitely helps, which do the thing and give 16 on the image top and the bottom. If what I said is not correct or not true, and we can see it. You see? So generally is your control is the styling is affect the one is inside. Okay, so any questions so far on this display container? So this display container a lot of time is most used for the first page, home page. You want, as I said here, you want to control text in certain area, use this as a background. So, okay. I heard someone on top, I cannot get the picture and the color. Please overlay. Okay. So we start over again. So the top example is we block an area. We give the size height 300 pixels. And then we can put text on different area. This is one way to do it. Okay. The second way to do it, we don't give a size. You see here, div container right here. We gave the first one gave a size, height. The second one, we don't give a height, but we put an image. Use one content to occupy. Look this, the image we put there without the left, right, all this corner thing. Now we use the image size, the image height to control this display height. You see, it's because it's a container, anything inside will occupy it. So if I start from here, I'm not going to, I'm just say text. You look this one. So this container, display container, it looks very much like just a regular W3 container if we just put information inside. Just keep going on. It's going to be at the middle or on the left, depend on your, because I do have a center at all outside, that's why in the middle. And then after this, if, for example, I specify its left corner, right corner. You see here, if I don't specify the position, it's just going to like any regular text flow down. If I specify location, like top left, this I'm not going to put on the bottom middle, I put bottom right. Okay, so you have a fine control on, you can put text in other area of this display. So the display container and the regular container. It is text to the W3 display and the text. can I get the picture and the color to overlay? And would you specify what's the picture and the color overlay? And because it's overlay, I do have a background green, and I can choose to remove it. You know, if I remove my color because I don't know the size, where is my container start and end? So this is just for illustration purpose. And if that's the idea, you don't want to have the background color, and you want a container, most time this is the case, you place the text in certain location, and you don't put the background color. I don't know that I answer your question. Okay, for this one, this the first green box and the second green box, we really introduce two concepts. The first concept is we give a fixed height. The second concept is we use our content most of the time is the image to control the height. Okay, why we want the image to control the height? Because, for example, like my application, see, here's the image, and I don't want to pre-calculate how high this is. It's just want to use this image. I'm going to put a text on top. You see, the text, everything is just a regular button, regular text, and just like anything else we write in HTML, but it's controlled a position. How to put this in the middle? And here's, look, the middle, exactly the center of, okay, I put this in the middle. Okay, so I have top left. So this do not need to be exactly in the same order. So I'm going to, yes, I copy this image. I remove it. I copy someone's code. And I make this smaller, 100. You see here's middle and 100, half the size, half the width. Shift the right slash. So Kevin, what's your question? Can you talk about what's you try to ask?
I am not asking a question.
Oh.
I'm telling when how to do the like the line thing that you are currently using.
Okay. Right slash. Okay. Okay, yes, that's right. Thank you. So far it's for if we display text on the display container. And another, just a general display, if we want to text on left and text on the right, just a regular one, you see in the P tag, for example, paragraph. Where it? You see, that's just our regular text. And if I put a div, you see text on left, and which take a whole row, whole line. How do I, you see here is if I type this, I switch the topic, okay, by the way. So it's just for the regular alignment. We have this W3 center, you see, put the text in the center, and by default is always on the left. But sometimes we want to control it, you see, because if I don't put it on the left, this one will be at the center because I controlled everything to center. So now I have to overcome this. I see, put on left. You see here on the left, because it's long, so you won't tell too much on the left. If I put a break here, it's lunch, make it short. Each line has a break. You see the text align on the left. And again, this block is on the right. So I just copy this. You see, here's alignment on the right. So certain times we want to control text on the left. So today we basically just talk about the alignment. You see, if I don't have any of this, another trick I use is if I don't want to use this tag, and for example, I have to delete it. If I put like X, I personally like put X, just means it's totally wrong, means it's not existing tag. You see, if it's not existing tag, so this tag is not exist, means not to do anything. So this way I don't have to delete this and turn out I need it just for short experiment. You see here it's just like a div, almost like a P tag. In fact, we can use the P tag. You see, here's the difference. You can tell the P tag has a space on top and the bottom, like a paragraph. Looks way better. The div is not. So the P tag for text, really good. You see, because I control the page from top to here, all have this center. So everything will be center. But I really want to control, I said, I want this part to be left. So then it's on the left. And then if I wanted this to be right, you see, I remove the X. Put X there is invalid tag. Invalid tag is not going to, HTML not going to give you complaint. It's just not use it. So this is right. So sometimes you do want to lay out your page. Some have in the left, some right. Okay. Okay, question. Okay. So Vinci, what's your question?
I'm trying to say like on your like div class equal W3 putting 24 and then like in the W3 class equal like W3 display and like container and W3 3 and then next like under it is line. I don't know how to make that.
Can you put in chat, put your code? Because if we see div class W3 something and put a class, two class here.
It's under the thing you just pointed at.
Okay,
Yeah.
here.
And the under it,
Okay.
there's lines. Next, look, there's lines next, like under the div tag.
You mean under div tag here?
No, next to the image tag. Next to it, like it's on the left.
Yes. So what you put?
No, like left, more left, like the lines under it. Like that line is like next to it and next to it. It's under the div tag on the first one. It's
Okay.
next.
Okay, so you want to put a div tag here?
No, like the lines. I don't know how to like. It's like.
Oh, okay, the
circle.
line. Okay, okay. Oh, the line is, you see here's Notepad++, it's very helpful. It's a put a line, the divs beginning and end. So put a line, tell you where's the beginning, where's the end. So this is the line.
Like how to do it, like how to make it.
How do I make it? I don't make it. It's this Notepad++, it come with it. You see here, P tag, if I move this over, you see here, it has a line. It's just a highlight, where's the block.
Oh, okay.
This
Thank
one
you.
don't, because I have a text and then is cover it. That's a good practice. Each block, you indent the text. So it's much easier to read. Like this, its line is here.
And I have another question. It's like whenever I like move it like forward, the text, like in the middle, it just delete all of my text.
Would you repeat again?
Like whenever I like move a little forward of the like you like P tag and then
Yes.
after you like move, but
Uh-huh.
whenever I moved it, it just delete all of my tag.
Oh, yes. So, yes, you just be careful. And when you move it. And yeah, that's the forward, backward. That's the. Okay, it's automatic with Notepad++. Okay, good. Okay. So any question? So it's everything right now is kind of a container and the position. So that's layout. I may change in topic because our people really interested like the card. So the card. So the card is another container. That's all you need. Just to see W3 card. So we have a left text, right text, display, and then I start another card. You know, it's the same thing like anything else. If you just have a container without anything inside, it won't display. You see here, you don't see anything. And if I say I am inside card, you have to have something to stretch this. You see here, I am inside the card. So card is just like any other thing. It's like a display container, regular container. It's taken all the way from beginning to end. The card is gave a border and gave a shadow. See, just like this, border and the shadow. And in their definition, they give a 2 pixel border. That's basically its default. I think these are the same. And the 4 pixel is contain any HTML container, 2 pixel border shadow, 4 pixel. So let's see what's the difference between 2 and what I have now. This is the default. So the default, you don't put a 2, is the same as 2. So 4, that's wider shadow. And in this card, you can have 3 sections. You see, if I don't enter anything, just put here, that's body. If I put a thing called a header, you see here, they have a card. Of course, you can have inside, you can put anything, your P tag, your paragraph, your image, your color, whatever. So just like another container. But this card have a one thing is, you see here, I have a header. Basically just truly is just another different. Okay, I try it. So you have a header section, foot section. You know, it's the good thing is the header section, they talk about the header section is they put on top. Let's see what happens. All right, refresh. You see header section, the middle, and the foot section. So the header section is no surprise. Basically, you can put anything, H1 tag or regular P tag, or no tag, for example, just text. I want to make it smaller. And the bottom is the same. If I don't put any, just a regular text will be smaller, header inside the footer. The very important thing is the footer. is always on the bottom. You know, if I don't use header tag, for example, I just use look at, they put a W3 container inside. So anything, if the reason is I controlled everything center, I remove the center, see what happens. You see here, the center, I control all the way to the bottom. So if without the center, everything will be left. So I put a center back in. You know, most time we don't want to like a, you see their example, the card is nicely smaller. And how we make it smaller. So the card, let's see, where's the card? Card. I see it works not. You see, I first try is directly defined on the card. If it's not a work, I have to put a div tag outside to control it. Okay, so now it looks like a card. And with shadow, which I think which I use so much. You see here, no, this not use card. You see, I use a card. It's the first I split this almost like a table, but not exactly table. I split this into two parts, and the left side, you know, if you don't have a width definition, and the most time we don't, we always define the range almost like a table, and we use the whole range. So inside and then do the card. So it just looks a little bit elegant. Just looks good. Okay. So here's question to unhighlight it first. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to digest, especially remember it. That's why today I put all of this container. So this is the first container. And this display container, in fact, we don't use a lot. We only use it, you know, if you don't, anything underneath, you don't have top left, top right. And this one almost the same as regular container. But this display container is just for control if we want to text in certain area. And the another one, third one is card, is called a card, but it's another container. The difference is this introduce a shadow. Basically, you box it. You see here, before we box it, and the shadow. No, shadow is not something easy to do. If you do it by hand, it's going to be a lot code. So they have done such a good job to introduce this, to write the code for us to make our life much easier. So how do you like the web? You just visit. It's like you can type your phone numbers. So how do you do that? You talk about this one? I think this one, contact the form. You can put it in phone number. You know, we need advanced class. This do have a little bit programming code. Either is PHP and all something. So it's a programming. It's basically you send information from web to the server, internet server, and the internet server will receive the information and process it, and then send out to the people who is the owner of this website. So there's a lot of process there. So that is, it's not a static website anymore. So today we have a static, it's just for presentation. We present information to the customer, to the visitors. And this one is, it's still not interactive web yet, but it's served as communication. And if talk dynamic website, that's going to be, for example, here. You see here, we have all the blocks. You know, if each one, we're going to code by hand. You know, it's a similar layout, just a text change. If we hand code all this, each page we code one more time, going to be a lot of work. And we save the data in the database, and then we pull the thing just based on, you see here, the only thing is just that's called a dynamic website. And that means the content looks exactly same. Just, yes, the layout is exactly same, but the content change. So that's where we advanced the level 3. Okay. Anyway, so there's, but if we get to this point, we can write the website to present. That's why I see for your personal business, small business, it's not too complicated, and bring good information to visitors. That will be really good. That's the first step. And beyond that, and that's going to be a little more work. Okay, here's more question. How to do the buttons? You know, the reason is I haven't introduced the buttons. No, not the reason. I will do it next time. How that sounds. So I will do next time, because this class, we only have 6 sessions. And the top menu, this all the buttons. And we still mainly do layout, but I really, really want to introduce you the dynamic, not dynamic, it's mobile responsible display. Like this, you see, it's a 3 section. If in the mobile, you see in the mobile, it's going to break this 3 section into vertical stack together. So we basically improve our tables to mobile friendly, because the table is, you see, this is a table, the concept is a table. But for small screen, you have to scroll left and right. It's very inconvenient. So the emphasis of this class is do a good presentation, good static website. All right, I write down button, don't forget button. So next class, going to the button and the menu. And the menu, I'm only do the basic one, not the drop down. The drop down one, yes, either horizontal or vertical, not combined together. That's going to be, you have to try yourself, basically. You see this one, just the left, the buttons, the menu only do left, other is top, but this is top left combined together. So I try to do simpler. Since we have some time, I may just a short introduction for the responsive. Give you idea. I will dedicate a whole class for it. So today is just the concept. So the concept is we split this whole horizontal into a section, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's what basically, I just jumped to the bottom. So we divide the entire screen to 12 range. And based on this, we calculate. If I have a 3 section, that means each section take 4, basically 4, 4, 4. No, 3, yeah, 4, 4, 4. Yes, 4 and 8 and 12. That's how it works. You see, is we take 4 section as one block, another 4 section as a middle, another 4 section as right. If in, let's see, this, no, the contact us page. So I split this into, the total is 12. And I pick 4 for this, I think 5. 5 for this, and the 7 for this. You know, if exactly half, this is going to be nothing, no good reason. It's so it's a still table display, but that's the whole concept. And then when we do design, we just decide how many slots, basically how many columns we want to use. So that's the whole response concept. It's just basically is upgrade from our tables. And menu. You see, menu is one kind and other kind. So I'm definitely going to do each one is a button. You know, since we have a little bit time, why don't I just introduce button first today? And we can continue with button next time. Here's a button. Button is very, very simple. And all you need to do here is W3 button. Okay, where am I going to put the button? I'm going to look at our web page. Here is, I have left and the right, I put another block in the middle. Use a P tag instead of div today, just for, because it's already gave me space. You see here, the first button. It has all the function you need. It's, you go here, swap it. It's going to behave like a button. If you click it, now not do anything. And then if you click it, how to make us a button, and that we will add our, basically the link tag. So it's very important, yeah, very important to know the HTML in our first class. See, here's the button with link. And then you click it, that's google.com. Okay, we're back. So that's the first button. Okay, so that's one way make a button. It's really just a button, it's just our link. And a second one. Oh. You see here, I see button, and inside the button, a link. You see here's stack these two together. But there's another way is we can have a link and name it class as W3 button. You see this class can be buried inside here, inside a link tag. Look, and they use the W3 black that's based on our other concept, the previous what we learned, that's normally is background color. Okay, you see this looks much better. That means all the button you better give a background color. So when you swap it, that's a gray, is default. If you don't give a background color, you swap it, is gray. So here is all the background color. You see here they have a button, you see button class. And if you just a button without a button itself, it's not take a whole line. It's like a span tag, is kind of inline. It's just next to each other. That's why I put it even in the separate line, the first line and the second line, the button is next to each other. You know, it's when we learn this, this HTML and this styling, almost like we go to law school. So whatever the law tell us, and we have to do it exactly that way. It's not a lot creativity, but we do have some creativity. We can try it, but sometimes success, sometimes not. I mean, if you not do whatever they said this way. Okay, and here's the hover. You know, if we don't want to like initial, it's not gray, and then you see hover. That means beside the button, and you can put a hover. What's the hover color? Okay, I don't want to confuse you, but this is the third way to do button. You see, look, it's link with class button. Another is just a button. Even it's a button, you still need this class button. And another is div with class button. So 3 ways. And I don't want to confuse you, but that's just a reality. The third is button hover black. And I want this beginning as, for example, red. Blue. Try not to use the red. You see, initial is blue and swap is black. This we do yellow. Button 1, button 2, button 3. And also can be fancier. Your button can be rounded. All you need is just add W3 round. It's a round bigger. That means it's more round. Round extra bigger. And also the button size. The default is medium, and you can, so you just keep piling with it, or whatever you like. And you see, tiny, small, medium is by default if you don't say anything. The large, extra large. And the border. And the text effect, and the different text. So that's a lot on the button. Thank you for asking for buttons. We have more than, yeah, that's extra information. beyond what I planned. Okay, question time. By the way, I want to stop recording first.